Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Thursday night. It is February 1st, 2024. It sounds like the United States response to Iran is imminent. I've been reading and some reports and doing a little research, and it sounds like their campaign of airstrikes and who knows what else is about to start within hours or just any time now, and I'll keep an eye on that. I'll go into more into that here in just a minute. Also, what's going on with that trucker convoy that is supposed to be heading down through the south into Texas at the border? And it's supposed to go along into, I believe, Arizona and California. I'll touch on that as well, and then a couple of other updates also. But first, I have to, oh, also a good verse. I'm going to share an awesome passage, so you don't want to miss that. It'll be a good one. I do want to show, I got a little gift in the mail from my buddy, Cold War Prepper. Cold War Prepper sent me this mug. Check it out, y'all. Don't mess with Texas. I love it. Love it. I will definitely use it. Cold War Prepper, I'm going to have a link to his channel down in the description. But if you haven't already checked him out, or if you're not already subscribed, check him out and subscribe and give him a try. He is very experienced, a veteran, and just a lot of knowledge. Very knowledgeable. So check him out. All right. Good stuff. Again, like I said, this the United States is supposed to begin this weeks-long campaign of airstrikes against the Iranian-backed militias, also the Houthis in Yemen, apparently. And it's supposed to last several weeks, and it's supposed to involve multiple locations and multiple countries. It is also said to include Syria and Iraq as far as locations. Now, this is in response to the attack on the United States base that lies along the border of Syria and Jordan that killed 3 American service members this past weekend. Now, this, and first question is why is it taking so long? Many factors to that, I'm sure, but now this happened Sunday. This attack that killed 3 of our folks, our Army reservists. This happened, I believe, Sunday. It was over the weekend, and we're sitting on Thursday night here right now, Eastern time, and it's almost Friday. I mean, what does it take that long? I mean, do we just give them all this kind of time to prepare? I saw another report to where Iran has pulled back a lot of their top people, their staff, their officers. I mean, and they were in Syria, and they pulled them back by now. My concern here is that we're just gonna bomb some empty buildings again, and empty buildings and sand. You can debate whether we should be there or not. It's that's debatable. I don't like us having all these little bases all over the place like that. I mean, don't we have better way to reasons or better ways to use our service members? But if they're going to be there, you got to protect them. And for goodness sakes, go after and eliminate the threats. I mean, we have the power to do that, I would think. Hello? What's taking so long? Now, I've heard several things. I've heard that it's taken some time to get assets in place. And I mean, goodness, I mean, this long? And then I heard that they're waiting on the weather. There's some bad weather in certain areas that they want to hit right now. And then I saw another report where the worst of the weather over there is over the western part of Iran. So are they going to strike Iran directly, or is this just going to be against the the proxies only? And then that would be Syria, probably some places in Iraq, Yemen. It'll be interesting to see. I don't have much expectations. I have low expectations actually. Saw another report where the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, apparently he came back to work finally, that he said this is a dangerous time. This is a dangerous time in the Middle East. And he said a few other things, but when I was watching the little clip, he doesn't strike me as somebody that would strike fear in somebody. You know what I mean? He's reading from something that was prepared. He's just reading from it, from the most part, and it just, again, if I'm the adversary, I'm like, okay, I'm not too scared. That's just my perception. Reality's perception. No, perceptions are typically reality. That's just the way it is. Anyway, okay. Also, I saw where there is a complete, I don't know if it still is, I saw this a bit earlier, a complete power outage reported at a BP refinery in Indiana, Whiting, Indiana. Said that emergency response teams had been activated, plant was evacuated. Just thought that was an interesting little thing. Anytime I see refinery, uh, anything to do with oil and fuel going up in smoke, or a power outage, or this just said power outage, but yeah, it makes me wonder. Makes me think. Now this could be totally an accident or something like that. But I thought it was interesting. Also, what's going on with this trucker convoy? Now, earlier in the week, we had heard that there were going to be like 700,000 trucks or tractor trailer trucks, and this huge convoy that's making its way down to Eagle Pass, Texas, at the border. And it said that they will also hit some other spots. I think Yuma, maybe Arizona, and somewhere, I forget, somewhere in California. But now I've been watching a little video here and there, and I haven't had the time to do a deep dive and just do a lot of research. I just don't have that time, y'all. But from the bits and pieces I've been able to pick up, it doesn't sound like it's near as big as what people were making out that it would be. Now, it sounds like as they gotten closer to Texas or into Texas now, they're picking up more and more people along for the convoy. I know I watched a little clip, I think from Glenn Beck last night, and it looked like it was more like pickup trucks and RVs and such as that, as opposed to tractor trailers, the big rigs. Now, I did see some video earlier here a couple hours ago that did show more big rigs, but when you think about it, we're different from Canada. I mean, here, you know, the big rigs, and I'm sure it's similar in Canada, but the big rigs, especially your independent operators, they have to keep running. If they're not making on the way to deliveries and picking up, I mean, they're not making money, and they're already probably operating on a thin margin, and with gasoline prices and the way things are going for transportation nowadays, they got to make a living. Yeah, I understand. I could see that. I don't blame them. However, I mean, I hope it's a pretty good I hope they're safe. I hope, it sounds like they're being careful so far. So that's something to keep an eye on. Definitely keeping an eye on the Middle East. And, something that struck me earlier. I mean, with a lot of eyes on the Middle East and a lot of videos about it, a lot of people are talking about it. It makes me wonder what else is going on. A lot of people are going to be distracted by this. It says it's going to be a weeks, a campaign that will last for weeks. And I think we can't be too distracted. We want to follow it, but not be too distracted, from other stuff that they're going to be trying to do, and things that are going on. So definitely have to keep a watch for sure. And but yeah, so keep up your preparations, especially for anything like power outages, downed internet, financial. Keep some cash out, y'all. I know you don't have to keep a whole lot out, but just something maybe to get through an emergency, if it's a temporary outage. I know if it's long term SHTF, I know cash will lose value, of course. But in a temporary situation, it's good to have cash out. Get some extra gasoline, get some extra fuel if you possibly can. Okay, let's keep our gas tanks full as much as possible. I'm going to go to a passage here. It is from Luke, the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 15 says, and he said to Jesus, he said to them, take care and be on your guard against all covetousness. I can't say that word. Covetousness. For one's life does not consist of abundance of his possessions. So saying that, be on guard, take care, be on guard, and not try to get so tied up in the worldly possessions, the items, and have all of our attention on that. Life does not consist on just an abundance of his possessions. Now, it's easier said than done. I mean, I know I've gotten caught up in that before. Got to have the new and improved thing, the vehicle or this or that, the clothes. And a lot of people get tied up in that and just lose themselves in it and get very materialistic. And I know the older I get, and I know a lot of y'all can identify. I don't need all that. I mean, I need things to work for me, like a vehicle. Take for example. I mean, yeah, I mean it needs to be serviceable and operate, be safe. But I just don't need the brand new sparkly thing anymore. I really don't. I mean, there was a time when I did, and it's nice, of course, but it fades, doesn't it? It's not forever. It loses its luster and it loses value, and after a while it becomes just a junk heap. It just becomes a rusted piece, twisted vehicle. I mean, really, after over time, as opposed to our Lord, who is always with us, everlasting, and that does not fade. It doesn't go away. His grace doesn't fade or just end. It's forever. So let's keep that in mind and keep our eye and keep our focus on that. Keep our focus on Jesus, keep our walk with the Lord, our God. Just keep praying, and like Stephen B. said in Arkansas, let's stay close to Jesus. Let's be safe out there. Share your thoughts. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.